Alright, we're here working on the WJ today. I got my son Gavin prepping the door, inside of the door frames for paint. We're going to be doing the U-pull Raptor liner on this thing. And I still got to modify the rear wheel wells. But him and his buddy cleaned all the door jambs today, got everything clean, all the rubbers out. And he's scotch brightening them now, getting some bite so we can do a nice color change on this Jeep. And I'm going to work on these fenders. Alright, so what the plan is here, guys, is I want this to be up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be cutting all of this out and having that edge inside there. So basically the door is going to be the new edge. So I want to move this up so that it matches that. I'm going to fabricate this piece here and just tack it onto the door so I don't hopefully warp this. And then this whole piece here, I guess I'm going to cut out up here and I'm going to move it up and back. And we'll use some of this. I'll have to make a little fill piece up in here. I'm just going to draw a tape line on here on the flat part where I want my cut to be. And that way the weld will be in the flat part. So that's going to be my two cuts, below and above. Move that up, tack it back in. Alright, so I got that major piece out there. It was glued along in here. And then on the door here, it is just full of this foam, so I'm going to have to dig out all of this foam. And what I did here was I cut this inner fender in back about a ½ inch from the outer fender. And then my plan is to dig out all this foam and then roll this edge around and you know, do like a seam around it. So this inner edge will come around to that one and then I'll just tack it in. And I left, there's my cut line there. I left a little so I can fold that over too. Help with a little strength, I guess. I did have a little rust here and there, not a whole lot. There was a little bit of rust inside here going. That's where you get all the splash up from the road. Alright, that could work of that. Alright, so I got my booger welds going there. I was really concerned about warping this panel. The sheet metal is just so thin, so I just basically just tack welded the shit out of this thing. And I was using a wet rag, and I would tack maybe 2 or 3 tacks, and then I would soak it, tack. So it's pretty ugly, but it's not going anywhere. And so I just made this little cardboard piece here. That's gonna fill that and flow that line in real nice. But I think it looks pretty good. I'll make this front piece, and this front piece here, I'm just gonna tack it on. I'm not gonna cut the door open, you know, for fear of warping this thing. So this is just gonna be basically an addition. I'm not breaking into it, so I'll just tack it in, and that'll be good enough. And it is an old Jeep. Keep reminding myself. Alright, so I got my fill piece in here, ready to weld in. Looks pretty good. I'll have to do another piece in there. Alright, so check it out here. So I just trimmed this piece. How'd this go? This was like this. So I trimmed about an inch and a quarter off of there. But you can see I cut this part past that, this inner piece here. See that line that's on the inside? So my plan now is just to move this back. So I'll just hammer that way, and then but right about on that line, I'm gonna fold it around that and use this little lip, something to grab onto. So I'm gonna grind the paint off of that and do a little flippy fold. That'll give that a little bit more room there. Alright, one thing guys, when you're making patch panels like this on these factory sheet metal that's super thin, you know, make sure your fit up is really nice. Take that extra time to fit that up so that when you go to weld it, it's going to be easy peasy. Alright, make your life simple. Alright, so it's coming along pretty good here. I got this all done. I still got to do some sort of connector down here. I got all of this done. And I got this all tacked in. That's all I'm gonna do on that. And now I just made this little cardboard guy here. Gonna make a nice little cap for that. And that's it. All this side done. Oh, I still have to do the door. Damn it. It's always something. All right, so it's late Wednesday night. Put in another 15-hour day here. I only get to work on my stuff at night. And I got this all tacked in. The rear part all welded in. Whoa, I'm working in tight quarters over here. So it's looking a little Mad Max right now, but a little grinding, a little skim coat of some Bondo. Should be good to go. Actually looks like them lines are flowing pretty good for an old Jeep. I got one more spot to do in that front door, and then that's pretty much it for fab work. I thought I would just show a little before and after here, how much we stretch that out. Grab the old tape measure here. So, shit, we could call that almost 3 inches of rear stretch there. So I wanted to give myself a little more room since I moved the axle back a little bit, and after the tank tuck could move it back even more. Alright, so I thought when I did this side I had this licked as far as this gap, so I got about twice as big a gap on the other side, and that's just too big of a gap for me. So you figure mud slinging up and all that,